Hey, good morning. It is Sunday, July 12th, about 8 o'clock in the morning, and getting ready to go on my first ride. So here you can see the bike. I got it all loaded up. And there's the cabin I'm staying in and the truck over there. But I'm going to be heading out to Florissant. So this cabin is by Divide, Colorado. Going to go over by Florissant where I used to live and kind of go around some of the old areas over there and just do a little local exploring mainly today. And probably go on some little more distant trips tomorrow. So. But it is a beautiful morning out here. You can kind of see. Got a nice stand aspen trees, and this family is slowly renovating these cabins. So you can see they've got. If I go over this way, a few more that they've started to update. So again, there's the bike. Got her loaded, and we'll get some good footage today and see what we got. Thanks. Okay, so here I am getting ready to go on Rabbit Creek Trail, coming off East Bison Creek Trail, and that direction to the right is Arapahoe Creek. So if you remember down here below, I'll drive by here in a second, was where the beaver dam always was. But so this, I'm going to drive them about 3 minutes. I'm going to go up to Poncha Creek, which is where we lived back from when I was age 7 to 12. So it's been 41 years ago that we left here. So it's been a long time. I'm going to do a little cruising around today to just kind of see what's changed and what's different. But did come back here probably, I don't know, 14, 13 years ago with the kids. We were staying over in Woodland Park and came up here and just kind of looked at the area. But otherwise, besides the one time, haven't been back really in the 41 years. So we'll see what it looks like. I totally remember riding this drive because it'll come around. Yeah, there you can see. There still sits the beaver dam. It's got the grass all on it and everything. Totally remember that. This barn wasn't here back in the day, but obviously they're building it. And then I know right up here the road, take a right, go up the hill, take a left. That'll be Poncha Creek Trail. But yeah, for 5 years that we lived out here, probably came across this road all the time. Used to ride my bicycle on this road. My mini bike had a little Honda Trail 70. I know that right up there down there is a pond that I used to go swimming in. It's got a little rock that sits out in there with a little dock. Yeah, still up there. Road, Dad and I took the Volkswagen Beetle and he taught me how to fishtail in the snow. It was all fun until Mom came home and the tracks were still in there. That house was not there when I lived here. That was not there when I lived here. So here's Poncha Creek Trail. Down that way goes to the ranch where we used to keep the horse. Go down there in a little bit. Oh yeah, I used to ride down this, but it sucked was when you rode down, you had to ride back up. And we had our dog Sam that used to run, when we'd leave the house, Sam would run right down here. So the house, the mobile home that I lived in is at the top of that hill right up there. I bet you if I dug down in here, I'd still find burn barrel trash that Dad threw into the ravines. This used to wash out. That rock, I used to climb on all the time. All the time. That was one of my favorites. There's a nice little rock outcropping right there. Oh, there's the trailer up top. Yeah, that definitely wasn't there back in the day. Oh, I am not going to be able to get in there. There's a gate. But here, this will give you an idea of what my view was. There's Pikes Peak. And the house is right up here. This fence and gate's new. I'm not going to be able to get up there. But, yeah, and it's all locked up. But it's that brown one all the way in the back, right to the left of the stop sign. So that first trailer was the Buck houses. And then this was their driveway to the left, and then ours went off to the right. But yeah, this was not here. But yeah, that was what my view was. Pikes Peak. Used to roll tires down that hill. It was awesome to watch the tires go down the hill because there was a log at the bottom of the hill, and when those old tires would hit that, they'd bounce up in the air about 30 feet. Then Dad came home and saw those tires at the bottom of the hill and made me carry them all up one by one. That wasn't fun. So, this was not here when I lived here. This just ends in a cul-de-sac right up here, if I remember right. That was not there. Oddly enough, there really wasn't much out here. Yeah, because I used to ride my dirt bike all the way down here and turn around and go back, and there was so little traffic up here that this circle was all filled in with grass back then. But there, let's see. "9,000 feet elevation." So there you go. Take a picture. All right. Okay, so this is down below. The house that I lived in is up there on another road. This is Hope Creek Road, and the only reason I'm videoing here is because I used to come out the back porch and through the woods on the trail, and this house right here was my friend. Brady Adams was his name, and they lived here. They were originally from Florida, lived here for a couple years, but we spent a lot of time together, and it was fun. Used to come down, and we'd often go down there, which looks like it's off limits now, and all the way around. There's a creek that ran back there. We'd go check all that out. But yeah, that was the Adams family house. Remember, he had an old classic Toyota Land Cruiser that was pretty cool. And then down here will be below our old house, so I'll video there in a sec. All right, so I'm down here on the backside of the house. So if you look up there on top of the hill, you can see kind of a white Jeep. That is the house I lived in, and then that other one is the Buckhouse house. And then here's that ravine that came down all the way. So we were on top of the hill for sure. We even built a sledding hill out the back once. There's where I rolled the tires. And then my buddy Brady lived over this way. But yeah, there it is up on top of the hill. Lived there for 5 years. See the deer right there? Now this is interesting because is that road closed? Because this road right here actually used to be the way down to the ranch. I'm gonna check it out. Where'd that deer go? There it is. See it right there. Hey, I see your butt. Okay, I'm gonna just go down here, because this was where my horse was kept. I do not remember it being this grown over, though, I can tell you that much. That's for sale. So it's been for sale for a while. So yeah, down at the bottom of that Poncha Creek Trail is where my horse slipped on ice, threw me, and proceeded to run all the way down here to this gate. But we used to go down right around over there, and right through there was the barn, kept the horse. Dad knew the person who owned the ranch or something and helped take care of their horses too. But yeah, I used to come down here actually quite a bit. This creek was fun. And then there was another spring-fed pond down there. And if you can believe it, back in the Gen X days, I'd just go down to that spring and drink water straight out the open well. And look, I lived. That looks like a line you don't want to touch. Oh yeah, I actually used to come down here quite a bit. This was a fun little area. Alright, so this is the other way down below where I used to live in Arapahoe Creek Trail. And that pond is one that I used to go swimming in. And I can tell you it was a lot cleaner than that back in the day. But go out and sit on that rock, there was no houses or anything there. So it really wasn't a problem. It says there's no outlet down here, but I'm gonna go keep looking. Over to the Arapahoe Creek. I do remember the washboard. I remember Dad had an old 1-ton dually flatbed Chevy. Which here in a little bit I'll go the other direction and show you where we ended up T-boning somebody at an intersection. And that thing was stiff as a wagon. And these washboards, you could just sit there and watch that dashboard of that truck levitate. So one thing that I have noticed up here though is, well, for one, there's 5 times as many buildings as when we lived up here. It was pretty sparse when we were out here. But there's a lot for sale too. I don't know if people have this dream of they're going to go spend weekends out in the woods, come up from Colorado Springs or Denver. And I will say I was looking on therealtor.com because you're required to do that anytime you visit a place, right? And prices were reasonable. Well, we got to go down Flying Dutchman, right? That's just God do. I mean, you'd have houses, 3-bedroom houses on 5 acres for $300,000-$400,000. Now, I don't know what the water situation is and all that, but anyway, oh, that's pretty cool. Whatever that is up there. Look, they got a big old rope swing. I bet there's a pond. There is a pond. I can see it on my map. Huh. Cool. But there's just endless roads, which is what I will be doing for the next 6 days. Okay, so this was a memorable intersection for me, the corner of Morning Star Creek and I think this is the Arapahoe Creek Trail, yeah. So, first memorable thing was a beaver would always block that culvert and flood this road out. And they'd have to come out here and tear those out all the time. The second was once Dad and I were coming down this road right here, and another lady was coming from behind, and he didn't see her or whatever. I don't. There was no stop signs or anything out here back in the day. It was just you had to have your head on a swivel, and we T-boned right here. So came out. I was in the passenger seat, and this was where we had it ran right into the side of the truck, my side of the truck. I got leaned over and didn't really get hurt or anything, but of course we weren't wearing seat belts. Spun us around, and then I remember going, my side of the truck slid into a rock that's right down in here. We actually ended up going down in this ditch a little bit and hitting up on a rock. Looks like somebody got stuck in there. But yeah, so there is the interesting story for that. Now what I'm trying to do now is, by memory, get myself back to Florissant, because we used to do this road all the time, and I'm going to see how well the memory serves me 40-some years later. Just knowing I got to take rights and lefts and rights and lefts, because if you look down here at my map, there's a lot of roads. But this was always a beautiful drive in the fall when all these aspen trees would turn gold. I'll tell you, fall in Colorado is magical. It just, when all those trees turn, if it's the right conditions, I mean, it's just golder than gold. Okay, I think I remember this hill. There used to be an old wooden sign nailed to one of the telephone poles or one of the trees up here at the top. I think it was called Ozone Trail. I mean, it's a Arapaho Creek Trail, but somebody nicknamed it Ozone because it went so high. And I think we came along here, and then I think I got to take a left up here. Yeah, if I pull this off, it'd be surprising. In the last video in the car there, first two cars I've seen, and it's 9 o'clock in the morning. Oh yeah, I'm in the right spot. Yep. Take this down the hill. It'll kind of curve around the hill, follow the creek, then we'll go around two big hills. You can imagine, when we get big old blizzards and whatnot, we're kind of waiting around. There's a lot of people, there's a few people that live out here, but there's a lot of people that just weekend out here. Frisbee golf, that definitely wasn't there. I'd have played that. Oh, I totally remember this road. Wildlife. It's kind of weird though. You think about back when I was age 7 to 12, and we'd go ride down this either with mom or dad. After a while, it just became the normal drive. Like when you're driving to Walmart or at your house, this is the normal drive. Totally remember this. This is a cool area because I remember this marshland. There were always red-winged blackbirds, and they'd be perched out here on these little willows doing whatever they do. But then we come around this next one, and that was what my drive to the bus stop was. So this was as close as the bus would come. Up here where Wildhorn Road intersects. There was always red-winged blackbirds here too. My mom loved the red-winged blackbirds. So mail, the U.S. Post Office doesn't go to all those houses. So we didn't even have this when I lived here, but they got post office boxes here that they can all come down to. And we had to go to town and have a P.O. box. But this was my bus stop back in the day. In the morning, there'd just be cars all lined up here with their kids. Bus would come, pick us up, off we go. There's the old bus stop. Huh. All right, here we are in Florissant. So there's the Thunderbird Inn. That's been here since forever. I remember that totem pole vividly. Down that way would be the Fossil Beds National Park. I don't know that that building was even here when we were here. And then if you look up on top of the hill, that is the Sawmill. That's my dad's Tiger Timber. So let's see if we can get up there without being considered trespassers. A lot of traffic this morning, people heading to the mountains, at least here on the highway. Across here. Okay, I do remember this little building. This Mexican restaurant was a video rental store. And the guy that used to own the Sawmill used to live down here. And I don't know if I'm allowed to go up there or not, but we're gonna try. Oh, there's a gate. But yeah, there's the Sawmill that Dad had. Over here. And then behind it's a big gravel pit. And we used to shoot guns and stuff out there. So there's Tiger Timber. And this is, I think, what was called the Mercantile back in the day. I think that is grown. Yep, Mercantile. I'm just going to go up here a little ways, see if I can find the inlet. You can believe this. Some days, Dad, if he was working at the Sawmill, he would let me sleep in, so I didn't have to get up early. Hang around the house and then ride my bicycle here. Yeah, here on this road. And this road wasn't this wide then either. It didn't have these little shoulders. I pretty well was, for example, riding my bicycle like this. I didn't have to go very far, and it was all downhill, so I could go super fast. But I did have to go down this whole section. I'm trying to think where. I think it's just around this bend. Nope, that ain't it. I thought that was it. That was not it. Must be just around this bend. But this is a gorgeous road. This Highway 24 through here. We used to do this all the time. Yeah, I think it's right around this rock bend. Not there. Right up here. Trying not to be a real pain in the ass to the guy behind me. Yeah, right. There it is. Okay. Takes me a minute. This road right here. Which I think I might just go up for fun. Dead end private road. I don't even know what road this is, but this. So on my earlier video, when I went down that road that was all grown over in grass and then came to a fence that was locked, and I said we used to come down here quite a bit, right where I saw that deer. That's the other end of this road. And so this was a super shortcut. And now that I think about it, I bet the reason we were allowed to go through that property was because Dad, what on earth is this? That definitely wasn't there. Dad knew the guy, and I bet he had a key or let us go through. So this was the super shortcut. This way you didn't have to go all the way to Florissant. You didn't have to go all the way from Divide up and over. And I like this road. So yeah, this is the road that I could ride my bike down to the highway and then go to Dad's place. I think I talked him into letting me do that, because if I went the other way, I had to go up over that ozone pass, and it would have been a lot of pedaling. This road was fun, and it was worse than this back then. Oh yeah, I recognize that up there too. Oh, here comes somebody. Anyway, so right up there was that ranch. I can't really go any further. They got a private property sign. Okay, so I'm over here in the Pike National Forest near Lake George, the town. Over by Joe Wilson Recreational Dam. Anyway, so I didn't really know how some of these like forest roads work and stuff, and this is a pretty good example of what I've found thus far. Not super technical, little, you know, wavy and bumpy, got stuff like this. Nothing that's crazy for the motorcycle, obviously. Woo! Catch a little air. But this is beautiful backcountry stuff you got here. Oh my. Just gorgeous, and not many people. You can see somebody's footprints are out here. They must have walked this morning. Now I'm getting a little traction. But there's just miles and miles and miles of roads like this. And this is fun. And I wish I had smell-o-vision for you, because it does smell glorious. So I think what I'll be doing today is, of course, I went and looked at my head, went and looked at the old house, went down to Florissant, I'm not far from Florissant. I'm probably 10 minutes from there, maybe. So I'm going to look at these roads. Then I'm going to head back up Wildhorn Ranch Road and see if I can find the old Wildhorn Ranch that Dad used to work at. And then I'll probably mess around in some of the forest roads that are up that way. And see what time of day that is. So probably, I'm sure I'll ride till 4, 5, 6 o'clock, somewhere in there. Go back, grill myself a nice little, got a chicken breast I seasoned up, throw on the barbie. But seriously, I mean, does it get much better than this? Talk about a fun little road, peace, tranquility, no people. It is a beautiful day. I think it's in the mid-70s right now. Actually, the sun is so intense that I'm actually in a sweatshirt and I'm a little hot because I'm not going very fast. But yeah, look at all this. But the other thing I will also say is, you can tell I need to look at what way I want to go. I think I'm going to stay left. That way will take me back to Florissant, but I'm going to go this way. You will notice how thin the woods are. Like, you see a lot of stumps and it's a little more sparse. And this is the kind of area that when we lived out here, Dad would do his cutting for lumber and firewood. And so I was often out on roads kind of like this. And this selective, they would come through and they would mark the trees with spray paint on which ones you could remove. And so when it's done, it looks like this. I mean, tell me this isn't as enjoyable than just thick brush. I mean, and then you can see they go in and they plant, and in 20 years they'll come do it again. And when a fire starts, it's so much easier for them to manage. Says the guy who never fought a fire. But I mean, really, you can tell when you're by a national forest versus a private land, how it looks. You can tell that they've managed it. All right. Okay, so here is the town of Lake George. So that log cabin-y thing was there back in the day. And more importantly, this purple building, Granny's Hash, which is obviously now a CBD marijuana joint, that was Jan's cafe. And so that was a very, very common place that mostly Dad and I would eat. When we'd head out this direction, we'd stop there and eat. And there was, might have been Jan's son that I think lived there. They lived upstairs, and so sometimes I'd spend the day there while Dad went and did his stuff. And but biscuits and gravy at that place were like phenomenal, next level. And I remember that he had an old KX125 Kawasaki dirt bike, and we'd mess around with it a little bit here. But mostly what I recall was riding it through this ditch. So on the other side of that white Kia was a trail that went down through the ditch, and we'd ride it. This road, I do not remember it being this busy, but, and then the lake's back over there. But yeah, that purple place is white back in the day. It was not purple, it was white and green from my recollection, was a highlight. So we're gonna get going. But yeah, we used to go through, and I remember that motorcycle trail right there down in the ditch. That we would ride. So here you can see, I'm 4 miles from Florissant right now. not this many buildings here. It's Sunday morning too, by the way, so that's why I think church is going on. 2 churches side by side. But in this field out here is where we would launch the biggest open spot we knew, and so I at the time was into model rockets, SD's rockets, and we would launch them out here. And I'll never forget, I spent the money and bought one. I think it was called the Sandpiper. Painted it copper and black. Spent all that time building it. We launched it right out in the field. And it was supposed to be the highest altitude rocket at the time that you could buy. And we lit the fuse on that thing. And it took off so fast, we never even saw it leave. It was on the launch pad, and then it wasn't. And I never found it. So I think this campfire walker at Wildhorn Ranch. Wildhorn Ranch, yeah. So I think this is the old place. My dad worked part-time, and then sometimes in the summer I would also come hang with him. So, and he worked down in that red barn. I used to have some fun here. I'd play with some of the owner's kids, from what I recall, and they had a little Jeep Suzuki. I'll tell you what, my rear tire don't feel right. I'm gonna have to check it out up here. And we would ride it up into the hills. Yeah, I got a problem. Well, ladies and gentlemen, I do believe it. And there's the barn. And we'd go off in here. There's a creek, or a creek and a lake back there. And have some fun. So, yeah, I got me a flat. Something has, there it is right there. Damn it. Giving me a problem. Okay. Yep. Here we go. Don't know if the last one recorded, so I'm going to do this again. But there's the Wildhorn Ranch barn, and I got me a flat right here, so you can see the staple into my tire. I'm going to put some slime in there and pull that and use my air compressor and air it back up and see if I can get her to hold. Last time I did slime, it held pretty good. So anyway, here's what we're going to do. Okay, so about 25 minutes. Took the core out, or took the staple out, took the core out, and then put some slime in there, aired it back up. Only problem is my little air compressor, battery recharge air compressor, for some reason would only take it up to like 10 psi, and then the battery went dead. So I don't know what's up with that. I got another air compressor back at the cabin, so I'm gonna just go ahead and go back down, back to the cabin, air it up, and then see if she holds air. Probably need to get some more slime tonight, so I got that on board, so if this problem happens again. So the irony is unbelievable that it happened right here, but such is life. Well, just an update. Apparently the hole was too big and my tire's back to flat, so it says I got about 6.3 miles back to the cabin. Probably was 10 miles total, and yeah, I'm just trying to nurse it a little bit now. I mean, I'm obviously just toasting the tube, so I'm gonna have to, when I get back to the cabin, take the whole rear wheel off and try to put a new tube in it and see if I can get it fixed that way. But yeah, this kind of went from bad to worse. I'm gonna have to get more slime, because I depleted my slime, and I'm gonna have to get myself a different air compressor. I have one, but this one, I almost need a manual one, I think, or something, because this one, the battery life seems to be crap, which is disappointing. I might pull in here though and see if any of these guys have like an air compressor or something. That might be a move. Okay, well, I am back underway again. I stopped, put the remaining slime that I had in that tire, and tried to get any more juice out of that air compressor that I've got, which apparently is on the fritz. I don't understand it, but it's untrustworthy now. And I'm about 2 miles from the cabin, so I'm just trying to, I only got about 11 pounds of pressure in it, and I'm sure it's fading fast, but I'm trying to keep a little bit of speed and slow down in the corners, so that, because that's where it gets squirrely, I can get back. And then I've got a fine afternoon of motorcycle maintenance ahead of me probably, so probably put on some shorts